Yep.
Like that?
Yep. Hello and welcome to Hey, I've Got an Idea.
Yes.
It is an idea podcast.
Yes.
Starring me, Luke, Lessashamed Williams, and my brother.
The band, yes.
My brother, the band, yes, is also here. It was actually pretty difficult growing up with an entire band and trying to pull it off as one sibling.
But I mean, also you were overshadowed by our success as a band.
I mean, that did sort of take center stage, if you will.
It's a pun.
In our childhood.
Yes.
The touring. I mean, there was the groupies. And like I'm just a little boy. You had groupies.
I did. Well, yeah, we did.
All over.
All over me.
Yep.
This would be a good place for me to make jokes based on the oeuvre, the track list, the discography of the band. Yes. I do not actually know off the top of my head any songs whatsoever. So this particular goof was ill-advised.
But this speaks to that same oeuvre. We know now how well the Yes body of work stuck. Apparently, not too well.
Well, not with Yes itself. I mean, we don't know our own songs anymore.
Name me
Addled by drug usage over here. We are all stoned out of our gourds for the entirety of our existence.
I'm glad you prepped for the show. But name me a Phil Collins song.
A Phil Collins song?
Name me the title of a Phil Collins song.
I'm Phil Collins, and I love it.
I don't know what to do with that. That was I was expecting you to say it all.
Why would you not expect that? That's his most famous song. His name's right in it.
That was much like Eminem's "Hi, My Name Is." Phil Collins, his breakaway hit. What was it again?
Just, hi, my name is what? My name is who? My name is Chicka Chicka Phil Collins. And then a 2-minute drum solo.
Okay, so this is an idea podcast, and we have an idea. Or we're going to have an idea.
We don't have an idea yet. We have no idea yet. I want to be clear on this. Completely bereft of ideas at this time.
We are still at a blank canvas right now, and we've got all this idea paint in our noggins.
Yep.
Just screaming to
paint.
Rip the lids off and just brain vomit that Jackson Pollock splatter.
Will the paint continue to scream after it's on the canvas? Like, will we have a perpetually screaming painting?
Like that sun in Rick and Morty?
Yes. Just like you buy it at the gallery and you bring it home. You didn't realize it was like that wasn't ambient noise at the gallery. The painting actually screams in perpetuity, and now you've got it hanging in your living room.
It's like, I think that's a little bit noisy for this space, actually. It's a really loud piece, but it speaks volumes. Hey,
not intelligibly, but it does. Right. It has volume.
Hey, Mason, brother.
Yes.
Brother Mason.
Yes.
What are we working on this week?
This week on Hey, I've Got an Idea, we are going to be collaboratively together working on the next great Canadian novel.
Now, is it the next great Canadian novel?
Well, it's going to be a great Canadian novel, and it will be the next one when it is done. And then...
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Presumably... like, assuming that Canada and novels still exist, which certainly neither of those are guaranteed, but presumably it will not be the last.
Yeah, but for all intents and purposes, we got 40 minutes to make the next great Canadian novel.
Well, we got this.
Right.
Also, I want to clarify here, when I say great, I mean great in terms of quality. It will still be physically typical novel size.
Damn. That was the one thing I had going for my
You had one joke prepared for the entirety of the podcast, and that was it, and I just preemptively shot you down.
Yeah.
Well, I guess,
All right.
I mean, like, there's a large print version.
All right, I can still contribute something here. Okay.
Okay.
Here's my first idea. I'm gonna pitch a setting at you. Tell me if this works for you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We're in Texas.
Texas, loving it, loving it.
Yeah.
I'm yes-anding. Texas, very good.
Okay. And then you focus in on a barn.
A barn in
a
Texas.
Nice Texas barn.
Okay.
It's got an American flag hanging from it. In walks our protagonist.
Into the barn.
Yeah. Joe.
Joe, the protagonist. Now,
Fontana.
Joe, is this like Joe short for Joseph? This is a man?
Joseph Fontana.
Joseph Fontana.
And he says, I am an American.
Well, that's not true. Why would he say that?
All right, so that's what Joe's doing in Texas. All right.
Okay.
I've written our first. I've penned our first line.
Our first sentence.
couple of so like first sentence could be it was a lovely sunny day in Texas. In this barn, description. This flowery word stuff could come out after. Fill in the blanks. I'm just talking about the coloring book version. You could add the color after, right?
Well, I think what you're describing is a Mad Lib.
Right. I've got the
next great Mad Lib Canadian novel.
Yes.
Okay.
So far what we've got: barn, Texas, American flag off the barn, Joe Fontana.
Joe Fontana.
Is that a cheese?
No, I believe Joe Fontana was a politician here in London, Ontario, which is what confused me about why you had him in Texas claiming to be an American when like that's an actual person. You realize that's an actual person, right?
That's why that was somewhere in the back of my brain then.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, so this is Joe Fontana. The cheese.
That is a cheese, yes. So this cheese man, Joe Fontana, he walks into this Texan barn and he says, yep. I am an American!
Yeah.
And then a pitchfork falls out of the hayloft, strikes him right in the brain, and he dies instantly.
Because this is about Canada.
Yeah, no, fuck Texas. Joe Fontana walks into the barn, says, I am an American, and then promptly dies, and that's chapter 1. What happens next?
Yeah. Now I've contributed a few things there.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take
the protagonist's name for one.
I'm just gonna take a breather.
Okay.
For a second, I'm gonna let you pitch our next little bit.
I'm moving on to chapter 2.
Sure.
Okay.
Hit me. What you got?
Well, Joe Fontana, pitchfork comically sticking out of the top of his head, or at any rate, it would be comical if he weren't stone fucking dead right there in the barn. Now we need to go through like the hero monomyth here, which is difficult when your protagonist is deceased. So I think we need the call to action. We need the sage figure to give him the impetus to to initiate the actual action, the actual plot of some sort. So we need a sage figure of some sort, like a Yoda type.
Okay. I think I can help with this part.
Okay.
Just for the sage figure part.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, but I mean, he really got himself into a bit of a mode with that whole dude character he did.
Can't argue with that.
So I feel like people wouldn't take his advice super seriously. It's kind of like if you were like, "Oh, we got a great idea for our monk on the top of the mountain who's just gonna like spew nothing but wisdom out of his mouth. Let's cast Jim Carrey." It's like it's just not.
Well, wisdom is
like,
found in the most unlikely places, right? Very often that's part of the lesson. Like Yoda, when you first are introduced to him, you're like, oh, what's this little funny goblin? He's mischievous. He's the opposite of what we need. And he's then, like, surprise, he's actually the guy. So you need, I think, to have that unexpected wisdom. So we need, like, somebody who you would not expect to be our sage figure and have secret hidden depths that are revealed to Joe Fontina, our dead protagonist.
Well, hold on. So is this like a Yu Yu Hakusho moment where
I don't know what that is?
Okay, so Yu Yu Hakusho is an anime from the 90s.
Okay.
And
what's the anime?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Point is it's a thing. It's story. It has a story to it.
Okay. So like a novel.
Kind of like that, except it's in its own form.
Okay.
Its own special form. Point being, the first thing that happens is this guy dies, and then
they're biting our style.
Oh, we gotta, I can't believe I'm dead. I gotta fight for my soul in the spirit world because I'm in between heaven and hell, and there's this cute, fun.
Well, now, I don't want to get any paranormal shit in here. This is strictly
okay. So that's not where you want to go with this, because already we've taken a character and killed him, and he was our protagonist. So.
Well, I mean, I don't believe in fairy tales, man. I don't think.
Okay, no. Hold up, because this is the challenge now. I gave you protagonist. You killed him right away. He's still got to be the protagonist after death.
Well, I figure.
So you go ahead and try and make that not supernatural. I don't know how you can pull that off.
Well, okay, now I'm figuring like we're gonna Baby's Day Out this shit, where like his limp body accomplishes heroic feats through all manner of coincidence. Like, basically, this is going to be like Weekend at Bernie's if Bernie was a hero who saved the day somehow despite being a limp corpse.
Okay, so the sage character.
Here to impart wisdom to this dead body.
Here, he's gonna come in and he's gonna help this corpse be a hero somehow. I've got a character for you, or a person for you for this sage character.
Okay, he's got to be someone I wouldn't expect.
All right, John Goodman.
John Goodman. Okay.
Now,
so the actual actor John Goodman walks into this bar in Texas.
This is not the movie version, and it's cast with John Goodman in it, and that's the character. No, this is literally John Goodman.
Okay.
Being literally put into this literature.
He is a good man.
Yeah, he's all right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so dead American named Joe Fontina. John Goodman comes in, and action. What do you got?
Okay,
you've got all the writing experience here.
The pitchfork is shrouded in darkness, so John Goodman at first does not see that Joe Fontina is dead. He just sees him sort of slumped over a hay bale.
Yeah.
And he says, well, hey there, partner. I didn't see you there. You know, sometimes in this life, things aren't what you expect.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I didn't see you there, maybe there's some opportunity that you haven't seen yourself. Oh, hell, I'm going off on a tangent. I'm here to get me some hay. Oh, here's some. And he picks up a hay bale. And he says, you take her easy, pal. And as he turns around, bumps Joe Fontina's lifeless body, now imbued with his wisdom, his Goodman wisdom, bumps him onto a conveyor belt. And away he goes off on his journey.
Okay, hold on.
That's the call to action.
Okay, so perfect. Okay, so that is what he's contributed. He's not going to notice that he did that. He's just now out of the novel, or
no? Well, we'll see him again later. We're going to bring it back around. That's the key to a good novel. Is you got to bring it back. You got to have cycles.
Here's my idea.
Okay.
From that point. Okay.
All right.
So he's somewhere in a Barnes conveyor belt. I mean, I guess it's like part of the baler or something.
Well, I mean, like you know, Barnes, they'll have like the thing where like you put the hay and it goes up.
Okay, so maybe that is a thing that happens, but so I gave you a big mislead off the top, right?
Wait, what?
I gotta admit, I pulled you in a silly direction.
Oh shit!
Because you see, you said get next great Canadian novel, and instead, I don't know if you knew this, Texas, not there. So
isn't that like somewhere in Manitoba? Texas, Manitoba. It's a subcategory. It's a region.
Actually, hold on a second.
Is there a Texas, Manitoba? You're looking it up right now.
Well, there's plenty of like Canadian Texas things, like people that are from both or something.
Okay.
Canadian Texas football, Canadian Texas hotels. Now I want Texas in Canada ? Please Google.
Texas in Canada ? And Google's just like, you're not allowed to use this website.
Google just shakes its head.
Like, I need you to put the mouse and keyboard away.
You know what? This is really not taking me anywhere I want to be. So let's here's where I'm going with that though.
Gross porn, huh?
I said Texas. I guess I meant the one that was in that state place. So that's not a Canada. How are we gonna get there?
Well, this novel is taking place in the not too distant future where Canada has annexed Texas. It shouldn't be that hard to do.
Now, hang on a second. When one typically talks about the next great Canadian or next great American novel or whatever, you're actually talking about, are you talking about the setting for that novel, or are you talking about the authors?
Well, typically you're talking about the authors, and the only reason I said Canadian novel is because we are currently Canadian.
That is true.
But I do think what we can do, like this, if we reveal that this is in the not too distant, very plausible future where Canada has annexed the great state of Tejas, then Joe Fontina's statement earlier in the novel is revealed retroactively to have been in fact, not a self-evident statement, but rather a bold proclamation of resistance to the Canadian overlords. He's like, well, no, I'm still an American, gosh darn it. The Canadians think they've taken over Texas, but I'm still Canadian, and so therefore, perhaps, like, that's the reason why. Like, we thought that pitchfork was an accident.
Okay, so
a loyal Canadian overheard him, and they were like, he's gotta go. Oops.
Now, so you've now, like, put that in a Canadian's hands, essentially.
A Canadian murdered our protagonist, and yet he is still the protagonist, even now chugging his way up the conveyor belt as prompted by John Goodman, so that his body will wreak its terrible revenge on the Canadian invader in the upper story there.
Okay, so let's just, like, imagine this corpse is going along a real conveyor belt right now, real time. We got a 5-minute conveyor belt. We got to figure out where that's going to go. But first, I want to set something else up, okay? So you're talking about a Canadian accidentally offing this would-be proud American Joe Fontana.
As we Canadians do, yeah.
You're also talking about this future world, like
Not too
where-
distant future. Like I said, I don't want to get too wacky on this. This is all plausible shit. This is
okay.
like what we
That
are
might
going to
stunt
do
this
tomorrow.
idea.
Yeah.
That might stunt my idea where I was thinking that maybe like this, it was like Big Brother had the ability to like move an object with, you know, whatever, magnetic fields or something. But
Well, I do,
but like, do you want to take it that way, or do you want to go with we have another character that, hang on. That killer Canadian guy.
Uh-huh. I didn't say it was a dude.
Killer Canadian person, I meant.
Uh-huh.
Is it the like third act reveal?
I think
that
we can have it in the second act.
All right.
Also,
Okay.
This is neither a stage play nor a film, so typically would have chapters.
I mean, yes, chapters, but unless you already know how many chapters there are, I refer to first, second, and third act for the overall
for like structural purposes.
For structure purposes,
you're assuming we have a 3-act structure in this novel.
It is. I mean, novels are good at being not that. I will grant you that. Yeah. However, for simplicity, I was presuming something like that. Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
So that might be the big reveal, is who this Canadian person is. You have any ideas? What was that?
Well, you said they could control metal, so I'm assuming you're talking about Magneto.
Was he? I mean, Wolverine's Canadian.
So this is like Rogue takes powers from people, but Leech like saps their powers. Presumably there must therefore be a mutant who can transfer powers from one character to another. So Wolverine and Magneto got together, and this mutant transferred the power Wolverine has of being Canadian into Magneto, and then Magneto was like, fuck this, I'm gonna go annex Texas. And then he's hanging out in the hayloft of this barn. He overhears Joe Fontina says, I'm an American, and he's like, I thought we fixed that, and he drops a pitchfork right on his dome.
Okay. Now I got a couple of concerns.
Okay.
One, Magneto.
Uh-huh.
Marvel-esque.
What's all this now?
Pretty specifically a Marvel property.
So how do you mean? He's a person. He can't be. He's not property. He is not a slave.
Yeah. About that. I think maybe you're thinking of Ian McKellen.
Okay, so our novel already contains the actual John Goodman, so now we're bringing in the actual Ian McKellen.
This is even better.
Who is a Canadian because he absorbed Hugh Jackman's Canadianness that he has.
Right.
And also he has the ability to manipulate metal with his mind, and he, from Canada, annexed Texas.
Okay. So...
And presumably all the states between the Canadian border and Texas.
So Ian
Whatever
McKellen,
states those are. I admit my knowledge of geography is somewhat lacking. Montana?
I don't know. John Goodman, the real John Goodman.
Yes.
He's in there.
Well, I mean, he needed to socialize medicine.
You were talking about Magneto.
Right.
But...
Who is Ian McKellen?
But he is Ian McKellen.
Well, this is a world in which Ian McKellen is Magneto,
right,
and absorbed Wolverine's Canadianness.
Right. But I got another problem for you.
Okay.
The real Canadianness of Hugh Jackman,
which he has, yes.
But the real Hugh Jackman is Australian?
Well, Australia is also annexed by Canada. So
wow.
But yeah, no, we've been busy.
We really pick it up, huh?
Yeah, no, it's because we've got the nukes, right?
People don't know about that, but we really do.
We've got so many.
You don't see that coming.
I have a silo under my house. I really hope we never use that one because my house would fall into the silo as the missile launches.
Just that one. It's really like not in a convenient place at all.
I don't know why they put it in there, but I guess that's what my taxes pay for. So,
right, you're not gonna argue.
No. I mean, I got the socialized medicine, right? So I don't have a right to bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. Who could want it any better?
Socialized medicine and a nuclear intercontinental ballistic missile, 20 meters directly under my ass at all times.
All right, I got to be pretty honest with you. We maybe have the big surprise that it was Magneto in the second
act,
second third of this thing. We have a little bit of an intro. We are now approximately 60% through this podcast. We got to wrap this baby up. We got to pick up our pace here. We're that 5-minute treadmill.
Joe Fontina, the corpse, with a pitchfork still stuck in his head, on the conveyor belt, heading up to confront Ian McKellen, who not only orchestrated his demise, but has been directly responsible for the annexation of Texas. And the wisdom of John Goodman still ringing in his ears that sometimes you need to, see things that you wouldn't normally see. You gotta have another perspective.
Okay, so that sort of resonates with him.
It's literally resonating in the pitchfork, like it's vibrating a little bit.
You must have spoken pretty loud, huh?
Well, I mean, it's John Goodman. He has a forceful cinematic presence.
But this is future John Goodman, and he,
Well, he's got the socialized medicine. They amped him up.
Yeah.
Do you know how many extra vocal cords you can get with socialized medicine? Sky's the limit.
He just put 20 of them in there.
However many your neck will support. And he has the meatiest neck in showbiz. He expanded it. Oh, yeah, like a bullfrog.
Yeah, no, it's like he's got a neck the width of like a trash can.
Motherfucker could headbutt the sun.
So I feel like we're a little off the grid still. We've got a motivation for Joe Fontina.
He has to avenge his own death. He is completely dead, but nevertheless, he has.
Okay, we got any other characters to bring into this bad boy?
Absolutely not.
That's it, huh?
We are failing the Bechdel test pretty hard, gotta tell you.
Oh, okay. Well,
maybe cut away for an interstitial between the chapters to Mary and Beth, who are behind the barn, and they're secretly smoking marijuana and talking about how marijuana is so great. And they're glad.
It's super legal in Canada.
Well, I mean, it is super legal in Texas, Canada, but they are not hiding because it's illegal. They're hiding because they fear their father. Their mother would be upset if they saw them smoking weed because they're both pregnant with girl fetuses.
Girls. Only girls.
Only girls. And then we cut back to the action. Our hero, Joe Fontina.
Wait. Let's actually just quickly... Let's have that be the opening scene and, just win that Bechdel test right from scene 1. So scene 1...
The prologue
is... They're
smoking the
Mary
weed.
and Beth are like, hey, do you want to smoke some weed?
I would love to smoke socialist weed here in annexed Texas, Canada. I'm so glad we're Canadian and Texan. That's the best of both worlds. Yeah. I just wish that, my mother would accept me smoking weed while pregnant with my girl baby.
What are you going to name your girl?
Joe Fontina.
Wow, that's a strange name.
Well, it's hyphenated.
So, Joe Fontina and...
Well, Joe, just J-O, no E on the end. Fontina, Ann.
All right.
And then whatever their last name is, and we can We can
and
pencil that in later.
they high five, and despite talking
high
about
five.
and
I don't know what it is, but there's honestly something funny about just two pregnant women high fiving. Like, I don't care about the context. Like, I realize that there's no reason for that to be incongruous, but it's still funny to me, the mental image of two pregnant women high fiving for any reason, and I don't know why that would be. It's not actually a funny thing.
Mm-hmm. So they high five. We pass that Bechdel test.
Passed it.
In comes, very coincidentally, Joe Fontina, says, "I am an American, impaled by a pitchfork."
Mm-hmm.
Canadian Magneto, Ian McKellen, is like, "Whoops," and he prances off. John Goodman comes in.
"Oh, didn't see you there, partner.
Didn't see you there.
Just here to get some hay. I guess you always have to keep your eyes open, see things from a different perspective." And then, well, got my hay, I'm out. Turns, bumps Joe Fontina's corpse on the conveyor belt. And we're now moving in towards our climax.
All right, so Joe Fontina.
Yes.
Not using anything supernatural.
He is dead as fuck.
Gotta make this realistic and you know.
It's been so realistic so far. I want to keep that realism.
Yeah, we gotta keep that going. So, how does an actually dead person have motivation? How do we do this?
Well, he has motion.
Yeah, but okay, so do you think that this is like an alignment of like his core being, like on a quantum scale, he just like coincidentally all of that motion happens with one purpose?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
100% exactly the thing that you said.
So that's not spiritual. That's just like his atoms.
Well, I mean, that's basic physics, right? I mean, F equals ma, force equals motivation times action.
We're just talking about the natural world.
Yeah.
That's all we're talking about.
That's
okay. So
for every action, there is an equal and opposite motivation.
Okay, we need to get into this next rising action here.
Yes.
In the best way that we can take a lesson, a little nod from other great novels. So, what else? What are some other examples of that, so we can just sort of slightly rip off that?
White Whale.
White Whale. Oh yeah. That's a big one.
Well, they usually whales are, and
yeah, okay.
They are, of course, native to Texas.
You said no other characters, but White Whale doesn't need to be character. Not a speaking human kind of character.
Yeah.
That could be like a guy.
It's a man versus nature kind of thing, right? I mean, that doesn't qualify as a character per se, although he is named Moby Dick.
Okay, Moby Dick. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and solve a problem for us. Okay, we were in like scenic countryside, Texas. There was a barn. Guess what? Other side of that barn, where that conveyor belt is now going off.
Where it's headed?
Yeah, big old lake.
Lake with Moby Dick and White Whale hanging out in that lake.
He's fine.
He's chilling.
Just deep enough for him to be like, yeah, it's good.
I'm glad I came here.
It's good.
I got to socialize medicine.
Not
that he is thinking that, because that would be a character's thoughts. He is not absolutely not thinking that. He is a force of nature, but he still benefits from the socialized medicine.
Yeah, he benefits. If he was more aware, he would be grateful. But this is here he is, Moby Dick. You know, and all of the issues that happened in Moby Dick probably could have been solved if he could just kind of stay in place, have medicine.
Yeah, no, that would have been much easier for everyone concerned, I think, if he was in like a little lake there. So anyway, along comes Joe Fontina, dead as a fucking doornail, pitchfork in the brain, and he's coming along the conveyor belt, coming towards the lake where Moby Dick is. And fortunately, like, this conveyor belt from the barn to the lake is there because Moby Dick has been eating bales of hay, because that's what whales eat. And along comes Corpse instead of bale of hay.
Mm-hmm.
And Moby Dick, anticipating one of those tasty, tasty cubes, opens up his giant mouth, and Joe Fontina spills into the mouth, and you're thinking, oh, is this it for our protagonist?
Right.
But it's not, because Moby Dick is like, what? Human flesh? I can't eat this. And spits Joe Fontina now sailing through the air back whence he came, right? Tumbling end over end through the air, and he's like parabolaing. There's an arc. He's about to come down on Ian McKellen, right, to visit karmic justice upon him and impale him with the very same pitchfork that he himself was impaled upon.
My God. It's cyclical.
Yes, and in that moment, the words of John Goodman resonate through Joe Fontina's dead as fuck skull.
I think this is just too good.
And he remembers, or he doesn't remember, but the vibration is still there in his inanimate, dead as fuck brain. That sometimes you have to look at things from a different perspective.
Which he can't really do.
He cannot do at all, yes. But
so how does this affect him?
But that vibration in the pitchfork, a passing airplane, they pick up that vibration. They're like, that's the signal. We need to turn this airplane upside down.
Directly into Magneto?
Directly into Magneto, so we can see what we've been missing this whole time. And Magneto is there, and he's like, "Hello, I sure am glad I'm Magneto. I'm Ian McKellen, and I'm a Canadian, and we have..."
Man, it felt good to kill that guy.
It felt super good to kill that traitor who still thought he was an American, and he's not. I'm glad we'll never see him again. And then, what's that in the sky? And Joe Fontina comes tumbling end over end, and Magneto takes one nonchalant step to the left. Joe Fontina splat right next to him, and he's like, that's weird. I guess the whale didn't like him so much. Well, good thing I saw him coming and took a step to the left, and then airplane.
Oh no, airplane.
And
so
Magneto dead as fuck in the wreckage. Joe Fontina dead next to him, but not a scratch on him, aside from the pitchfork in his brain.
Right. Just that one little detail.
One little detail, right. And that's like in that final moment, like barest little rigor mortis muscle twitch, and like the faint smile and the thumbs
there
up.
It is. There it is. Now, okay, so there's a moment right before Ian McKellen gets struck, where he just realizes that the plane is about to hit him, and he has like this realization. He has only a second left to utter one word.
Like, I could use my metal powers to stop this airplane from killing me instantaneously. But
it just got a little too close. It just got a little too close.
Instead,
he didn't have the time.
I'm gonna say.
And then what does he say?
I hope Joe Fontina Ann has a nice life. And then that wish again resonates, much like the words of John Goodman, resonates through the invisible trail of weed smoke back to the pregnant women, and resonates all the way down to the uterus, and fetus Joe Fontina Ann is blessed by the final benedictions of the last man on Earth, and she
I-
will
I-
lead the women who will inherit the Earth.
Yeah. Okay.
For the one generation, and then we're pretty much screwed after that for obvious reasons.
I've got one little adjustment.
Okay.
Just sort of a rewrite of that last little bit.
Absolutely. Rewrite my masterpiece. Draw a mustache on the Mona Lisa. Why don't you?
So that that going through the air, that I wish Joe Fontina and would have a nice life. Was it?
Like a good, she would be a leader.
A good life.
A good life.
Yeah.
Perhaps not a comfortable life.
Spoken with sincerity.
But it's a good life.
It's floating through the air. Here's my rewrite. That is implied. And
okay, implied. I like it. It's implied. Up to the reader to interpret that.
Yeah.
But it is absolutely there. Yes.
But that rigor mortis smile on Joe Fontina, not Anne.
Right.
Dead beside him. That rigor mortis smile happens. Okay.
Yeah.
At the exact same moment. He says the thing. The smile happens. And then Finn.
The French makes it classy.
Yeah.
Finn.
Just end it there.
Hang on, Finn, and then can we pan back around to Moby Dick and close up on his fin, but then underneath subtitle no, not that kind of fin.
I didn't think it could get any better, but you took it. You took it to that end zone.
It's great that this is a thing you can do in a book.
I know, isn't it? Just
wonderful technology they have these days with books.
Yeah, the wordplay.
Yeah,
just really gets playful.
Yes, it does.
So okay, I think we're good.
How long are we on this podcast so far?
Oh, it's done.
It's done. We're done.
It's done. So let's give this one a title.
Okay.
Ready to print.
Okay, so we need we need a title.
Yeah.
Moby Dick 2.
Oh, ooh, that's pretty good. I got another one for you.
Okay.
Fontina the cheese. Fontina : the cheese.
Fontina : the cheese.
And the cheese in quotes.
Who moved my cheese? Well, we know who moved the cheese is John Goodman. He bumped it on a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're done.
We're done.
There's no improving that.
Just flesh it out a little bit. Slap a cover on it, and we're ready to be published.
Yeah.
Amazon.
So hey, publishers,
Kindle.
in our audience, come at us.
Yeah.
Make us an offer.
Yeah. No, come on, give us money.
All right. Well, that should do it for this episode of Hey, I've Got an Idea. There's just one more piece of the puzzle left.
We gotta pitch what we're gonna do the next podcast. And since I was the one who suggested the great Canadian novel, which clearly we've written, I think it's your turn, Luke Lessashamed Williams. You gotta choose what our next podcast is going to be about.
Okay, I got it.
And then you gotta sign us off.
I will.
You gotta do our sign off immediately after you say the thing.
Okay.
Okay.
So next week,
yes.
Next episode,
yes,
we are going to design the best restaurant. There it is. So, thanks for listening to Hey, I've Got an Idea. I've been Luke Lessashamed Williams. This is my brother,
Jason Tailsteak Williams.
And I'll catch you on the flip side.
It's absolutely not our sign off, but okay.
We did it!
Yay!
We did it perfectly.
Good job.
In tandem. Brother. Unity. Best
podcast.
Best one.
Best one forever.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Guys and gals and everyone else. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Yep.
Okay. Bob.
Yep.
Okay. Bob.
Yep.
Okay. Bob.
Yep.
Okay. Like that.
Yep. Hey, Mason.
Hey, Luke!
Do you like headphones?
Golly, I love headphones.
That's funny because that's not what you said last week.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I've come around, I've turned around on them.
Would you?
Now, I love headphones. They get me sexually excited.
Okay. The
Big ol' boners.
Bluetooth headphones. How about them? You like them?
They're the sexiest.
So I bet our listeners also like them. They can win
If
some.
they're perverts like me, they sure do.
They can win some free ones. Isn't that cool?
Oh, yes.
They are oaky black sport headphones. They are cool. They bend. They like fold up. I was legitimately just gonna buy them for me, and then I didn't need them anymore. So now
God, that's sexy.
now they're for you. If you want, here's how you do it.
Warm and willing and just so flexible. They go right in your ears.
Just go to HI. They're not in-ear headphones though.
But you can if you. Everything fits in your ear if you try.
I really wouldn't try it with these ones, but higaishow.com/contest. One more time, that is higaishow.com/contest.
Flash that contest.
You have until April 20th. Do not wait. Check it out. Win some headphones. Why not?
Hey, you know what's great about April 20th?
What's that? I did not realize that until just now.
I believe it's also Hitler's birthday.
Thanks for listening, and catch you next week.